Ladies and gentlemen, there are many locations over in Europe that are going through a second wave, and the second wave seems to be pretty strong over there. Right now, they are in fear of a double dip recession as the second wave is sweeping across Europe. So, this is CNBC, September 24th, 2020. Let's see if I can play this audio for you.
Of the last 5 pandemics the world has faced in about a century, 4 had multiple waves of infection outbreaks. In some cases, the second or third waves turned out to be far more severe than the first. As governments around the world weigh the trade-offs between reopening their economies and continuing lockdown restrictions, what can we learn from history? The worst pandemic in modern history, the Spanish flu, which is estimated to have infected a third of the world's population, had 3 waves of infection. The first wave was in the spring of 1918, while the second wave happened in autumn that year. The third wave occurred a few months later, which lasted till the spring of 1919. You can see the pandemic peaked in the highly fatal second wave, which was responsible for most of the deaths. Many health experts have said that history may repeat itself. The World Health Organization has warned that the worst of the COVID-19 pandemic is yet to come. But with widespread unemployment and many companies battling to stay afloat, there are calls to end the social restrictions and reopen the economy. Tesla CEO Elon Musk has also lashed out at government stay-at-home orders as fascist, and that's a feeling shared by an increasing number of Americans.
You heard Elon Musk's comments. I think that reflects a growing sentiment in this country where people want this to be over, and so that's going to tug against what the governors have to do. They have tough decisions to face.
However, many analysts have warned against reopening the economy too soon, which may derail current efforts to stem the crisis. The island of Hokkaido in the northern part of Japan was forced back into a lockdown after a second wave hit the region more severely than the first. Singapore, which was lauded for its early efforts to stem the pandemic, also recorded a second wave of infections in March, mainly from imported cases and migrant workers living in packed dormitories. A survey of more than 40 prominent economists in the US found that 80% agreed easing severe lockdowns when infection risk remains high would lead to greater economic damage. As the debate over when to reopen the economy drags on, the Spanish flu offers some clues. In 1918, the US had no coordinated pandemic plans at a federal level. It was therefore left to local authorities to decide how and when to intervene to prevent the spread of the disease. The social distancing measures over a century ago are similar to the modern-day restrictions, such as the closure of schools, offices, and the banning of mass gatherings. Because tackling the infection spread was orchestrated at a local level, the interventions varied widely. This led to mortality rates and the pace of economic recovery differing from city to city at the end of the pandemic. In 1917, a year before the Spanish flu outbreak, Philadelphia and St. Louis have very similar mortality rates from influenza and pneumonia. However, when the pandemic broke a year later, the two cities have very different approaches to tackling the outbreak. Philadelphia was very late to implement social restrictions and even allowed a large street parade involving some 200,000 people to go ahead in the middle of the outbreak. 3 days after the parade, every bed was filled in Philadelphia's 31 hospitals. In contrast, St. Louis officials intervened quickly, resulting in a much lower death rate. The evidence also shows that cities that intervened sooner and more decisively saw their economies grow faster after the pandemic was over. For instance, this graph shows how cities with stricter social distancing measures recovered faster 1 year after the 1918 pandemic. However, cities in red with more lenient measures generally performed worse. In cities that implemented social distancing measures quickly and for longer, manufacturing activity and banking assets also saw increased growth a year after the pandemic was over. The evidence suggests that aggressive social distancing measures not only reduced mortality rates, but were also economically beneficial. While there are important economic lessons to be learnt from the Spanish flu of 1918, it's difficult to compare that pandemic, which occurred more than 100 years ago, with the coronavirus pandemic of today. Advances in technology, global supply chains, the larger role of services, and better communication tools may ease the economic fallout significantly, which limits direct comparisons between the two pandemics. However, the evidence does imply that decisive social restrictions to reduce the severity of a pandemic plays a key role in the economic recovery process. So how can both livelihoods and lives be saved? While there are no easy answers, looking into the past offers a glimpse into the future. After all, a healthy economy doesn't happen without a healthy population.
Well, I tell you what, America gets an F on social distancing and taking precautions. They get an F. So Europe is now grappling with a second wave of coronavirus infection that could once again wreak havoc on damaging their economy. The Eurozone area shares the single currency, they have the euro, and they saw their economy tank 11.8% in the second quarter of 2020, hit by strict lockdowns and measures used to contain the spread of the virus. Economists predicted a rebound in the second half, but now are questioning those forecasts. No, you would never have a rebound that quickly. I don't know what the hell y'all thinking. Many governments are announcing new lockdown restrictions or slowing the reopenings as they are dealing with significant upticks in cases. And I was looking at some of the upticks, like Spain and France. They are seeing a lot of upticks. Okay, so the European Center for Disease Control and Prevention said on September 22nd there had been 2.9 million confirmed infections in Europe, with Spain and France now seeing daily cases above the 10,000 mark. There is a big risk of a double dip in the fourth quarter. So they said there are clear signs that the second wave is going to be worse over there than back in March. Data out this week showed the recovery is stalled in the Eurozone in September. The flash Eurozone PMI composite index, which measures both manufacturing and services, stood at 50.1, just marginally pushing into expansion territory. The latest preliminary number points to a 3-month low in economic activity for the region. As we head through the fourth quarter, there's obviously a lot more restrictions in place, and that's really going to curb growth, Williamson said. Concerns about the economic shock of further restrictions sent Europe equities into sell-off mode last week. The pandemic poses a key risk to our call for a tick-shaped recovery from March to April, plunged the economic activity. The warnings are similar for the UK, where the government announced Tuesday that pub and restaurants needed to close early and people should work from home if possible, rather than commuting to work. So, wow. So they're telling you that they're expecting a double dip recession and possible, more shutdowns to come. So we shall see. Things have definitely got worse here in the US. It's worse now than back in March when this thing first started impacting everybody's life. So the fall is here and people are getting sick all over the place. And the US don't have this no more in control than they did back in March. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this story coming out of Europe. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.